All right, buddy, here we go. Rolling from Vero Pizzeria again, one more time.
Vero, very exciting to be back.
It's very exciting to be back.
Very exciting to be back,
Trying to
yeah.
work that out.
I love this place, and you're going to see us here more often, obviously. The folks will.
Is that a promise? Because you know how I feel about the cauliflower crust pizza here.
We already we'll be here at least, yes, for the next few months and many months, actually. Every month we'll be here.
All right.
So this is
coming
this
up
is home.
on today's episode, we're going to talk pickleball. We're also going to meet Brad Cox from the Tempe Diablos and have a great conversation about all of the things that they have going on. But before we get to that, we ask everybody to pay attention to a couple of our newest sponsors here on the podcast.
Absolutely. We have tutor doctors of Ahwatukee, Chandler, and Gilbert who've come on board. We love them, been part of that organization, promoting them for a while, what they do to the community and educating our kiddos and even adults. You can hear about them. Of course,
Keystone Montessori.
Keystone Montessori, also doing the same thing, giving a great education to kids here in the community. Amy Richardson,
The incomparable.
the Savvy Realty, one of the top realtors here in Ahwatukee. Love having her on board. And we will be having Vero will be coming on board too. You'll be seeing Vero commercial coming on here. They will be our newest. So
You're going to have to be careful with all your table tapping today
I know
because this table is not stable.
A little wobbly. And when you bring out the pizza, the cauliflower pizza, what are you going to do?
What?
When he brings out the cauliflower.
I'm going to wait. I'm going to wait and eat it when we're done.
Okay.
Now, this table is not stable.
Not stable for you.
Like me. All right, quick break, and we're back with Brad. Hang on, everybody.
Buying or selling a home is one of the most important decisions you're going to make, so you deserve someone who truly cares about your journey. I'm Amy Richardson with the Savvy Realty Group and HomeSmart. Living and raising my family in Ahwatukee for nearly 20 years, this community isn't just where I work, it's my home. Growing up in the Midwest, I learned early the importance of connections and relationships. These values shape everything I do. From our initial conversation to long after you've settled into your new home, I'm here to provide ongoing support and guidance. From staging to cutting-edge marketing strategies, we expertly showcase your home to sell swiftly for the highest possible price. So if you're ready to buy or sell, please reach out to me. And remember, important decisions require savvy solutions.
At Vero Chicago Pizza Ahwatukee, we focus on quality and a great pizza experience.
With over 30 years in the business, we've perfected our craft to bring you the best. Our pizzas are made with top quality ingredients, creating rich flavors that capture the essence of Chicago-style pizza. And our family recipes like the homemade meatballs and Italian beef sandwich add a special touch to our menu. Enjoying a meal at Vero is about more than just food. It's about making memories with friends and family in a welcoming space.
Join us at Vero Chicago Pizza Ahwatukee and taste the difference for yourself.
Hello, I'm Laura Hertzler, head of school here at Keystone Montessori, nestled in the Ahwatukee foothills. We are celebrating over 25 years of serving the community with authentic Montessori education. Our community at Keystone is home to 12 classrooms serving children from 15 months to 15 years old. We take great pride in each of our Montessori environments that support our students at each stage of their development. Please call us today for more information. We would be happy to welcome you to the Keystone family.
All right, it's go time here, live from Vero. I'm Matthew Blades.
Steve Petz.
And we've got Brad Cox joining us first on the podcast today. Now, Brad and I go way back. He's with an organization called the Tempe Diablos. And, you know, it's one of those things where I told you about the Tempe Diablos, and you'd be like, yes. I've heard about those guys forever.
Forever, since I moved.
Yeah.
I moved to Tempe. So I moved to Tempe in 93, so since I moved.
So what is a Tempe Diablo, Brad? Welcome to the podcast first, but what is a Tempe Diablo?
Tempe Diablos, we're a civic organization. Basically, we spawned out of the Tempe Chamber back in the late 60s, where the main goal was to attract the Seattle Pilots to spring training for this new stadium that we had out there. Right, exactly, the Seattle Pilots. And
Walk me back. What was that? A baseball team?
that was the major league team in Seattle back then, before it became the Seattle Mariners.
Did you know that?
I read about that when I was getting prepared for the show. I thought it was neat. It was one of their demands, apparently, that they that they fixed up the stadium, and that's
they built the stadium, and we wanted to attract Major League Baseball to the city. We had this great stadium, and they said, we need someone that's going to come in and advocate for us and be an extension of the hospitality and welcome us in, and that's how we got started. Real humble roots, but here we are, 60, nearly 60 years later, and we're still out there cranking away at spring training.
So about 15 years ago, I met Brad and the group that were part of the Tempe Diablos, and it was Bill, wasn't it? Bill that roped me in.
Yes.
Bill Ottinger ropes me into this thing that they do called the Excellence in Education Awards. It's like the Oscars for teachers. And it really is an incredible night where these guys, not only do they raise a bunch of money, but they acknowledge all these incredible educators. And then one of the coolest parts of the night is they give away all kinds of scholarships for people to go to ASU.
We do. Yeah. So we kind of married two programs together. So we do high school scholarships, actually to kind of go back even to what he's saying. So we had humble beginnings just doing spring training, but we're a full-on fundraising organization. Now our goal is to raise $2 million this year to give it all the way back in the city through grants, programs, youth education. That's our forte. So fast forward to Excellence in Education, a program that's very near and dear to me. One of the biggest reasons why I joined. And we married our scholarship program with this event with the educators to celebrate them. So we give away 30 scholarships a year for Tempe students who are going to go to ASU or a Maricopa County Community College. And now we've added trade scholarships, by the way.
It's a brilliant move.
Yeah,
nice.
Yeah. And we give away $240,000 a year for scholarships, and another $20,000 plus this year for trade scholarships.
What's neat is that they've been doing this long enough where some of the folks who have received it, graduated, already gone on to their career, kind of finding themselves back in the fold. And there's been some great stories around that.
Isn't that pretty cool?
Yeah.
We actually, I think it was 2 years ago, we had a scholarship winner was actually an excellence teacher winner as well. And I forget what award it was, but what a full circle symbiotic kind of thing, where they did exactly what we hoped. They stayed in the city of Tempe and the impact of the city of Tempe, and we couldn't have been more thrilled to tell that
the
story.
program worked, and you love seeing it in front of your face. So amazing. What would you said 1961, what would the old school that started be shocked about the organization today, what you guys have been able to accomplish?
How much less alcohol they drink?
Are you sure? But are you sure about that? Are you willing? That's what I want to hear.
I think that we went from the telegraph to a fax machine to the internet and all this other stuff. And I don't think that anybody could have imagined that this thing would have just taken off the way it did. And how many lives were impacted. So,
and it's grown into so many programs, Ignite the Night, which we should spend some moments talking about. Excellence in Education. They've hooked up with the LPGA. Now they've got this tennis tournament.
Boy, sounds like a lot of fun. Boy, mixing the Diablos. It's a fun organization. It sounds
we
like.
are. Yeah, we know how to throw a party for sure. But and I guess maybe the guys back in the day wouldn't have believed that we would have been involved with so many things. And, we have a hard time saying no if it involves
$1 million efforts. I'm sure they'd be impressed.
Absolutely.
Well, $5 million. I mean, you guys have kind of...
Millions, in the millions, yes.
Yeah, it says on their website, it's like through our scholarship programs, they've awarded more than 12,000 scholarships amounting to more than $5 million currently, as you mentioned, $240,000 annual to Arizona students.
Absolutely.
Brilliant.
And we're in the 20 million threshold now for total funds given back to the community, both through scholarships and then through grants as well and other programs.
So the Diablo Stadium is obviously one of the pillars of the whole thing. And what you would be impressed to know is that these guys are the ones that park your cars, right?
We
still,
yeah. To this day, we still, get all those volunteers. We have a really big network of volunteers that come out every year to help us out. And so the ushers, the people parking the cars, taking the tickets, that's all part of it. And the Angels couldn't be a better partner. There's some exciting things coming down the pipe. I can't really talk about them exactly yet, but some really significant moves. Artie Moreno is spearheading this actually. And,
who's that?
He's the owner of the Angels.
Okay, super
Yeah,
cool.
icon around here. Love that stadium, by the way. Love going to the games, and actually had a thrill. Sidebar from my thrill since high school baseball. When I moved out here, I played in a league, and we were at Tempe Diablos Stadium. So I've actually played games there myself.
So cool.
So cool. I mean, it was like I felt I was in. I felt like I was in a.
It's like a
major
hockey
league
guy
stadium.
getting to play at Mullet.
Yeah,
right?
I loved it.
Like
Yeah,
that,
big time. No, it's amazing. I love going to the games there. Love. I mean, whether you sit behind home plate or you're in the grass, amazing time.
They're
really
going to be
is.
doing some really special things there. I mean, they just did the clubhouse on the lower fields, state-of-the-art technology. If that's any indication of what's coming into the stadium as far as renovations and making it more current for a major league ballpark, it's going to be stunning, and that'll happen in the next 3 years and less.
I love
All,
that.
all those funds have been approved, through the bonds.
So they're happening,
with the City
yeah.
of Tempe. So City of Tempe's
Nice.
invested, we're invested, and the Angels, of course. It's going to be fun.
How many members are a part of the Diablos? Is that like, is this hundreds? Is it thousands? Where are you?
Well, yeah. I mean, over the years, we're over the 260 mark total. But right now we have active members. We have 41, and then we have what we call life members who are still with us, but they're not required to kind of do what we do as far as going out and engaging and doing the day to day. So we have another 105 or so of them.
Nice.
Hit 'em, Steve.
Yeah. I've been hearing all these fun events. Again, I've heard one of the website party with a purpose.
Yes.
Terms
Yeah,
like
Ignite the
that.
Night, yeah.
Ignite the night sounds like fun. What's one of the events that you could share with our audience? An over the top fun event that also hit the home run, so to speak, with the charity piece. Can you share one of those events?
Absolutely, that would be Ignite the
Ignite, for
Night,
sure.
without a doubt.
Which would
without a doubt.
tell us one of those nights experience. Yeah.
So we're going to be at the Phoenix Zoo again this year, just like we were last year. It was an absolute great change for us for venue. We're talking about 1,000 guests. We have live entertainment. There'll be live performance going on. We have silent auction, live auction, and some of these live auction items are going to be knocked out of the park. Portugal trips,
Oh, wow.
Ireland. So in the past we've had other things too, like a SWAT helicopter ride. You name it, but some really cool golf trips, things like that. And then we'll have the Corvette out there too.
Let's
for people
talk
to buy
about
some
that.
Yeah,
raffle
the
tickets.
Corvette.
Let's talk about
We're
that.
going to hear about
Yeah.
this Corvette.
Yeah,
Al.
what is there's a Corvette raffle happening
Yeah.
right now. I
Yes.
think through May, people are going to be able to enter
Yeah.
the drawing. Give us the
Yes.
details on that.
So local businessman, Al Lacan, he's a car lover, a philanthropist. This is the third car that he's donated to us. We could not thank Al enough.
Wow.
One of his passions is collecting cars. He has a shop right there on Priest where he keeps, probably about 20 cars. And then he's got some more hiding somewhere in an airplane hangar somewhere, I guess. But he said,
nice.
he
Must
said,
be nice.
Michael, Michael Passante.
Yeah.
So Michael and I were having lunch, and we ran into him, and he said, guys, I'd like to donate you guys another car. We said, okay.
Yeah.
And he showed it to us, and it's a 2021 Corvette red.
Oh my.
And he's modified it a little bit as well, like some better wheels, the big black spoiler on the back, and this thing has like 2,300 miles. It is mint. There's not a ding on it. I don't know if I can see that with lawyers, whatever.
Yeah.
But it's
Don't worry
nearly
about that.
flawless.
It's in really good shape.
Yes,
Extremely
super good shape.
like new.
Like anybody would want that.
Smells new. Like it's the quintessential Corvette, red Corvette. It's
Oh.
stunning. And so, so he donated to us. So it's up on our website on tempediablo.org, and you can click down on one of the events. There's a Corvette raffle, and people can buy tickets for it. We make it easy for people. You can buy one for $50, 5 for $200, 12 for $400, 20 for $500. And I would anticipate we're going to sell fewer than 5,000 tickets, and so that's pretty good chances for someone to win a nearly $100,000 vehicle.
Wow.
Boy,
Doesn't it
sweet.
make
Boy, I
you
would love
wanna
one of those
jump
now.
in?
I would love one of those now. I actually was thinking about a Corvette. Maybe that was the universe telling me to buy one of those, get involved.
The universe is definitely telling you.
Yes.
That. It's telling everybody that.
Corvette. I haven't really had the Corvette itch before. Like, and I didn't, or maybe since I've been looking at their thing.
Look into my eyes, Steve.
I want a Corvette.
You need $500
My
worth
life
of
will
tickets.
change. My life will change.
I didn't know that I was a Corvette guy
Yeah.
until I drove it.
Oh,
and
so nice.
I brought my teenage daughter with me, and she's like, "Okay, Dad, get on it." And
Yeah.
I was like, "Well, I don't think we're insured for getting on it, but yeah, it is. It is
so nice.
I've had the pleasure
amazing.
of driving a few different Corvettes because I used to have this partnership with Van Chevrolet up in Scottsdale.
Nice.
And I would go up there, and when I was getting my oil changed and stuff like that, they would throw me in a car, and I would drive around for an hour while they were cleaning things up. And I'm telling you, there's nothing like being in a car like that.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It's an experience you don't forget.
It
so
is.
what do you use the money for? This goes to the scholarships
Well,
and all
there
the
you
other things
go.
you're doing?
Yeah, great question. Yeah, so all the money that we raise through whether it's programming, sponsorships, donations, etc., it goes. We raised the money this year to spend it next year. So the more we make, the more we can give away. And so if we sold $100,000 in raffle tickets, that goes right into the fund for our budget for next fiscal year.
Nice.
And so it'll pay for programming. It'll pay for the grants. We gave away $633,000 in grants last year.
It's a big number.
Impressive.
Yeah.
How great would it be if a Move the Needle listener won the car this year?
Oh, I love that.
great.
And then we got him on the show. Of
course. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and every
Let's do
little
it.
bit helps. $50, $500. It all goes
It
to
adds
the
up.
greater cause.
Yeah, and it adds up.
Yeah. What would it look like if instead of $633,000, we were able to give away $1 million in grants?
Right.
Like how many lives would that impact?
That's, and locally.
Yeah,
The
right.
money stays
Right,
here.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
And of course, I'm not going to let Brad, we're talking about the greater good, all these amazing things. I'm not going to let Brad off the hook without leaving the audience with a little inspiration. You've had to be involved with some of the recipients.
thinking, what will he pick here?
Yeah, tell our audience one of these recipient stories that really that came back and saw what you guys do right in front of your face again.
Yeah. So Matthew got to see this when we had what we called the kitchen sink video. And it wasn't about a kitchen sink. It was actually the production company who created it. And it was like this somber, moody, emotion-filled video that we play right before Excellence would kick off. And it wasn't really a good mood setter as far as getting people hyped up, raise the roof stuff. It was ethereal. It was gripping, and it was telling the story of some scholarship winners. And what they're doing now and how the scholarship impacted them. And so you have these kids who, maybe a single parent, maybe out of foster care, maybe didn't have a reliable place to sleep every night. And they didn't have the money to go to college, but they really were driven to do it. School counselors, everybody encouraged them to do it. And all three of these people that were on there are now, like, one's a doctor,
Wow.
one's a teacher here in the district, and one of the three school districts in Tempe, and I forget what the other does, but just seeing those stories, or even listening to them. We have high school scholarship interviews coming up, February 22nd. There's always a tearjerker in there, and you just listen to these kids come in, and they're like, yeah, I have to get up at 4 o'clock, have a paper route, and I gotta make some money to help with rent, and you're just like, what the heck?
Yeah.
And then they go to school, and then no time for sports. It's another job after that, and then homework,
And then do
these
it again.
and these kids are crushing it. 4.0s. Involved civically, volunteering their time. Not playing sports possibly, but volunteering their time, and you just cannot believe, some of these stories.
So
Tearjerkers.
I love these stories, and amazing organization. Seeing the Diablos, just to see that come around, see the success from those people to where they've come and being part of society and difference makers.
Yeah. What's great about the Tempe Diablos, if I might blow a little
Please.
smoke your way, is that you guys have diversified. And so you have a lot of different ways. You have many points of entry for people to be able to contribute and help you out.
Mm-hmm.
Are you into golf? Great. We've got this partnership with the LPGA. Right? You into cars? Cool. We got a Corvette that we're giving away. You into education? Awesome. Support us in our excellence in education. You into baseball? Great. Come park a car. Come watch a game. Like, we've got you taken care of there. You guys have found a bunch of different ways to bring people into the fold. Is there anything that you are, as you guys meet, one of the questions that I like to ask is like, what is your pain point right now? Is there something that's happening within the Diablos that you guys talk about and you sit there with the group and you say, I wish we had this, or if we just had this, we could do this? Because the potential is here for somebody to be listening to this and going, yeah, I can help out there.
Yeah. I think the biggest thing right now is we have to do a better job of telling our story, as a group. We're really good about getting in and we're really well known in the city of Tempe and we're bringing it up a notch. If we had that one moment where we are out there and people are like, I identify with that. I just appreciate what they're doing. I mean, we're all roll up your sleeves, boots on the ground, do the work. We have a hard time saying no, which kind of gets us in trouble sometimes because we want to do it all. We want to be there. But I don't know what the magic wand is. Other than getting our message out there and having someone sit there and say, I just love what you're doing.
Maybe more qualified members? Because I know your goal is kind of like to be around 45 or something like that. Yeah, actively.
We could have up to 50. I mean, we have 41 right now. So, yeah, absolutely. Anybody that's...
Who's the perfect Diablo?
Yeah. Someone who gets it, cares. They're driven to help, Tempe give back. Live or work in Tempe and want to really, for the lack of a better word, move the needle on raising funds and giving it back.
Yeah, live or work. So it's not mandatory you live in Tempe.
You
don't
have
to
live in Tempe. Right. Yeah.
You could live in Chandler like you do.
You could, yeah.
That's perfect.
Just moved. It's okay.
It's okay.
I lived over 40 years in Tempe.
Did you really?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
So I have emeritus status in Tempe.
There it is.
And my office is in Tempe.
Okay. See,
and how about me? And I'm a retread. I started in Tempe, moved, and I'm back in Tempe now in Tempe.
Back.
I love it. Actually, I do. I love it. I love the cultural diversity. I really enjoy that.
Well, just the school down there, man. It's just the university.
But it's a different mix. The whole thing is a mix. I mean, you go everywhere you go. It's a college
you got
town.
People coming from all over the world.
Yeah, it's a little city. So there's the university impact, the regular city impact, and all the influences of people moved in. I've enjoyed being back. Every part of it, really.
So here's the call to action. We're inviting everybody to go hit our show notes, and you can find those on YouTube. You can find those if you're listening to this on the audio podcast within the show notes. But we're going to put a direct link in there for you to buy one of these raffle tickets for the Corvette. We'll also throw a link in there to the Tempe Diablos so that you can link to their organization and find out about all these programs, because maybe you heard something today and you think, man, that really speaks to me. Awesome. Let's hit the link. Let's go. Let's put a little gas behind these guys.
How about a Corvette? Yeah, like I said.
Right.
How about that? Sounds pretty good.
And keep the growth going.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Brad, thank you so much for being a guest on our
Thanks,
podcast.
Guys.
Pleasure meeting you. Yes.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
We love learning about this.
We got to get some tickets, man. I want to be one of those 5,000 people that buys one this year.
Okay. I'm telling you, I think I've got the calling.
You do.
That would be sweet. And I never.
Would you get rid of your Lexus?
Yes.
You have to think about that.
They have to think about it.
Yeah.
Like tonight.
Yeah, tonight. Right? You're like,
right. Let somebody else drive that home. Yeah.
All right, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to be talking about all things pickleball. We'll see you in just a second.
Coach Wendy, yes.
Hi, I'm Kim Selchin, owner of Tutor Doctor of Ahwatukee, Chandler, and Gilbert. We understand every student is unique, which is why we meet them where they feel most at ease, whether online, at home, or in a public space. Our academic coaching is designed to help even the brightest students overcome organizational challenges, sharpen study skills, and build confidence, empowering them to achieve their best. From kindergarten to adult, we believe every student can be successful. We also have expert SAT and ACT coaches to help teens with college admissions and scholarships. I'm excited to learn how we can partner with your family to help today's learners become tomorrow's successful adults.
All right, it's time for round 2 of our Move the Needle podcast. We're at Vero Pizza today. This is one of our favorite pies in the whole land.
Starting to smell good around here.
I know it is. You can tell they're firing up the kitchen before everybody gets here.
Oh, we'll be eating there tonight. At least I will be.
I dream about the cauliflower crust. Okay. I mean, I know I keep saying it, but it really is genuinely that tasty of a pizza.
Yeah.
So, all right. Thanks to Brad Cox for jumping in. Tempe Diablos. You feel like you learned a lot about the organization, right?
Somebody in an organization I've been hearing about my whole life. So yeah, got to.
And now you know what they do.
Now I know what they do, and maybe I'll win the Corvette.
Get the word maybe out of your mouth.
Maybe, yeah.
I'm gonna win the Corvette.
I'll will it. I'll will it. I'll will it.
All right, our next guest is here to educate us all on this wild phenomenon that is birthed pretty much since COVID, and that is pickleball. Wendy Cracciolo, did I say that right?
Yes.
Coach Wendy.
Coach Wendy.
Coach Wendy.
Yeah, well, that's how we'll refer to you from
Yes.
now on. So Coach Wendy's going to jump into this podcast and help us, get our head around this phenomenon a little bit more, because I don't know about you, dude, but you drive around and it feels like everybody's creating more courts.
Oh, yeah.
Now we're starting to get these places like the Pickler. What else, Coach Wendy? There's others.
Central Court. There's a big one being built. There's Legacy, which is now called the Arizona Athletic Grounds. There's a ton of indoor pickle venues now.
Okay, and it has just exploded, and in my opinion, it's exploded because of the lower barrier of entry. Yeah. You don't have to be in the best shape of your damn life to get on a pickleball court and have a little bit of fun.
Yeah, my favorite slogan is really easy to get mediocre at.
That was me. Yeah.
Have you played?
Oh, played. I was one, and we'll talk about this. I was one that kind of stayed away for a while. For what reason?
Yeah.
Didn't know. But then got roped in, and I've had a lot of fun in it, and it's good exercise. I just being competitive, I just haven't been able to get over that hump. So when you say the word mediocre, that's what I would call myself. But a lot of fun and a good workout.
Start at the beginning. To me, pickleball is ping pong meets tennis.
Absolutely.
And so how would you describe it to people? Is that
We always say if pickleball and tennis had a baby.
Yeah,
it would be pickleball.
Ping pong and tennis had a baby.
What did
right?
I say?
You said pickleball.
I'm sorry, ping
had a
pong
baby.
and tennis had
Yes.
a baby.
It would be pickleball.
Yeah.
So we've got some props here. This is the pickleball. To
Yep.
many people, it's going to look like a wiffle ball.
Correct.
But it's different. How?
Well, so there's an indoor and an outdoor pickleball, and the indoor pickleball is designed to bounce better on a wood floor surface, and the outdoor pickleball, which is that one, has 40 holes in it, and it's just
How many holes there were? That's impressive.
sure.
40 holes. Okay.
I could even tell you what a pickleball court's measurements are. But so it's just, it's an air ball. So the wind does affect it. Like today I have a league night and I'm a little worried about the wind because it's at 23 miles an hour. And I'm like, oh.
Yeah, but listen, this is when it's game on. Time to put a little bit of a spin on that ball and make your partner have to really reach out to grab it.
Well, the pros stop at 18 miles an hour. That's when they call a tournament.
That's pretty windy.
But tonight, 23 miles an hour, that's going to be weird because pickleball, it's no fun in the wind.
It isn't.
I mean, we would do it just because we're addicts, right? So we're not stopping because of a little windstorm.
Yeah.
But to have a nice league night, I don't know if I would continue at 23 miles an hour.
There appears to be, I don't know if you've ever gone when it's busy. Like we go down to Pecos Park and it's busy. There appears to be some sort of a protocol within the pickleball thing, right? Whereas like if I'm on the court and there's people that are waiting to play pickleball, there seems to be some, like I'm supposed to let them go. Yeah, there's like an etiquette to pickleball.
Absolutely.
Can you explain that?
So yeah, let's talk about that.
What's court etiquette?
We call pickleball a game of etiquette and a game of rules.
Okay.
So I teach etiquette and I try to teach traditional pickleball so people actually learn the right way. There's the wrong way, which is probably maybe more fun at first, but in order to really improve your game and to go up levels, you have to understand all the rules, all the etiquette, all the nuances, the finesse. So yeah, you can go out into a public court situation. They're going to have rules, and they're going to ask you to play one game and then come off the court and play another game after you've put your paddles in the paddle saddle, typically.
The paddle saddle.
The paddle saddle. Okay. So you walk into a park.
Sounds like a strip club.
Let's trademark that.
Yeah, of course. Well, there's a lot of jokes in pickleball. The thing that I thought the funniest thing that I had ever heard was we were all getting ready to play one night at Tempe.
Yeah.
And I would drive anywhere for pickleball when I first started, anywhere. And this guy came running in and he was all white and he goes, "Sorry, I'm late. I had to go to Dick's to get some balls."
There it is.
I was in.
I love it.
Yeah. Okay, so what else do I need to know if I'm going to show up at the court? I don't really know all of the rules because this happens to golfers all the time. They come to the golf and they don't really understand the
show up in
rules,
jeans
and then all
and
the stuffy people get pissed off. So, like,
non-collared shirts.
what is the rule there in the etiquette? Keep going on that. There's the paddle saddle where I'm supposed to bop out after a game.
So it really depends. I don't know if you've ever played walk-on basketball, but it can have its rough side, right? Because you're playing with people you've never met before, people from all different walks of life. So when you go out into a public park, hopefully you ingratiate yourself into the scene at some point and get to know other players who maybe won't treat you as an outsider or a beginner. So there is kind of a little bit of a hurdle when you're a brand new beginner and you're trying to go out and play with just anybody who's maybe a little more experienced or better, right? So you just kind of keep going back and you put your paddle in the saddle and you try to get out there and play some games and maybe announce that you're a newbie or you're a beginner. And usually there's some nice people like myself who will take you by the hand and help you through the game, maybe tell you where to stand, when to run, when to stay.
And
you know
then,
what I mean?
And then some not so nice that'll target you and try to pound it at you. I've experienced that too, which is fine too. I want to get good at it. That was my whole thing. Is like when you start playing something like anything, you want to learn the strategies. You want to get good. And
well, you don't just go to public parks to learn how to play pickleball. You have to get lessons. That's how I started my business. So I started playing during COVID, and then 2 years later, I had a girlfriend's like, "How am I going to learn how to play?" And I'm like, "Well, we Googled everything and asked the court next to us."
I just watched a YouTube video.
Right. But people want to physically come out and learn how to play. And so 3 years later, I have taught well over 500 individuals how to play pickleball. And I just run a massive nighttime league and lesson business where people find me through word of mouth. I've had people take 40, 50, 60 lessons each and continue to. I donate heavily to really nice charities, and that usually brings in a nice couple who then they become a friend of mine. They get their lessons that they won at their raffle, and then they stick around. So there's lots of different ways, but in order to learn properly, you have to take lessons, in my opinion.
Okay, so let's talk about learning properly.
Okay.
What are the rules of pickleball? It's 0 to 0. How different here's first question. How different is singles versus doubles?
So singles is for a much more athletic person, I would say more youthful or at least fast and out of the zone where they could get injured easily.
Okay.
Doubles is more for, players who maybe are a little bit slow on the jump physically and maybe need to work their way up to playing better. The injuries that occur in pickleball are usually with the person who's trying to be the expert on day one and just not listening to reason and going after stupid balls and crashing into fences. And
this happened to my uncle.
Yeah.
He literally never played pickleball. He got out there and he
Yeah.
lunged for a ball. He's got a little bit of a
Yeah.
gut, and the momentum just carried him, and he ended up busting up his knee pretty good.
Wow.
Yeah. So when I teach people how to play, I'm like, please try to put away your high school years over here. I know you were a terrific athlete.
The Varsity Blues.
I know you were amazing in 1992.
I know you're a madman.
Right.
On the basketball court or the racquetball court, but this is different. And don't let the way it looks, fool you. It's a hard game, especially to get good at. So there's a lot to learn. But, pickleball was created in 1965, Bainbridge Island, Washington. Yep. So there were three dads. Well, COVID brought it.
But I thought it was.
to
I
the
still
masses.
thought it was new.
Yeah,
I did
that's
not
a
know.
long
Yeah,
time ago.
1965, Bainbridge Island, Washington. The original court still stands. So it was three funny dads that were like silly, and they're like, their kids are all bored. What are we going to do today, Dad? And they're like, well, let's just figure this out. So three dads go into the woodshed and bring out like badminton nets and rackets and wiffle balls, and the hybrid of which today is pickleball. And they say that there was a dog named Pickle that kept running away with the ball. So that's how they came up with pickleball.
Yeah. Note to self, the title of this episode is How Pickleball Got Its Name.
Pickle actually ran after the ball. It's a dog show.
Pickle's got the ball.
It's about dogs.
Yeah,
it's
okay.
another show about dogs.
So back to the rules. So let's just stay with singles for a second.
So singles, I don't really play or teach singles, but it is fun and I can play it, but I find it to be dangerous. At my age, I just find myself going for balls that are kind of crazy. So I'm just a doubles coach and a doubles teacher.
And a lot of people.
Well, let's stay on doubles then.
Yeah.
Okay.
A lot of couples play together. It's a couple sport.
Okay, so
well, not necessarily.
Well,
I'm on one side,
shouldn't say
they're
that.
on the other. As far as I can tell, it's 0-0. How is it determined who's going to serve first?
Okay,
Is there a
very
volley
cool.
like tennis?
Well, no. You start serving in the northwest corner because that's closest to Seattle, right? So you determine which corner of the pickleball court you did.
I did.
A lot of people start in the northwest corner or know they need to start in that corner, but they don't know why. But it's because a tradition of northwest. the Great Northwest.
Interesting.
Okay.
So, and then they only have one server serve when you're playing doubles. They decided to only have one server serve. Once that person's serve is broken, then it goes to side out to the other team, then both servers serve. Side out, both servers serve. So one server, then 2, 2, 2. You play to 11 points, you win by 2, and you only score when you're serving.
Right.
So
So
when
if
you're-
you win
yeah.
a point, just comes back to your serve, and then you can start
Correct.
scoring again.
If you break a serve,
You gotta
then
break-
it comes back
which
to
is
your
two,
side.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's really laid out kind of cool. There's a nasty Nelson, which is a super fun rule. So if you're serving, and you and your partner are serving, and you hit the person straight across from you with the serve, you actually get the point because they aren't paying attention. They didn't get out of the way of a serve.
Oh.
Isn't that interesting? So it's called the nasty Nelson.
Nasty
So
Nelson.
it's kind of a weird rule, but it does come up. It came up last night at a lesson.
Well, I think that's funny. And you're talking about the seriousness. She was talking about comedy because people do show up at the court and they kind of bring their old life and that.
Yeah.
I want to hear some funny stuff. What's one of the funniest things you've had to see some major comedy on the court?
Well,
I'm talking about that person that
funny-
shows up and again thinks that they're going to
Yeah.
run the court and they quite don't.
Funny haha, maybe not
Yes.
funny haha. Yeah. So there was this one dad, and his family was so embarrassed by him, but he was like determined to change the rules, and he couldn't understand why you had to holler out the score every single time somebody served. Well, the reason you have to say the score every time somebody serves is it's confusing and complicated, and you have to say 3 numbers. So you say your score, your opponent's score, and then the server number.
So 0-4 first serve.
Well, 1 or 2.
1 or 2. Okay.
But how I've started it, because there's only one server on the first side out, right? So I have them say 0-0 start. So
Okay.
they identify themselves as the starting
The
server.
starter. Okay.
Then when it flips over to the other side on the side out, you start with the person always on the right-hand side. No matter what happened, you change sides when you serve.
Okay.
The right-hand side serves, they would be the first server, and then the second one would be the second server. And then they could flip, and then the next time, the other person could be the first server.
It's clear
So they
to me
make
I
it-
don't know the rules of pickleball.
Yeah, and we got back.
No,
we
there's
got
lots,
we
there's lots.
and we got back into rules again. And she was talking a funny story about the guy that didn't want to shout
yeah.
it out.
Oh,
and
yeah,
we
so the
diverted.
dad.
Talk about the guy that didn't want to do it. Why?
He
what was
didn't
the
want to
deal?
yell. Why do I have to say the score? I don't understand why I have to say the score.
And after you explain
I was
it?
running out of answers for
Yeah,
him.
I mean, can you just?
I'm just like-
how self-explanatory is that? Because we all need to be on the same page. Yeah.
no, but he was just like, well, it's stupid. What? And his kids were like, Dad, stop.
That's like
anyway,
that's
I
like
have
goofy
not
funny.
taught him again.
Yeah, that's what I.
Right.
I like to have joyous people on the court that love the game and are willing to learn the rules and play nice. But I do have a lot of people. One lady said, "Stop telling me what to do." I'm like, okay.
I mean,
you're
that's what a
telling
coach
a
does,
coach to
right?
stop telling me what to do.
Okay, I
I'm
gotta
like,
go back.
okay.
I gotta go back to the rules because
Okay, go
I
ahead,
think
rules.
people want to understand this. I want to understand this more. So
I get that.
I get my first serve. It's a 0-0 start. I hit it over. I have to hit it in that box.
Yeah,
Right. That box.
It's like tennis.
And they miss. That's a point for me.
You get a point.
Now I, as the server, move to the other side.
Yeah, you and your partner will switch sides.
0-1-1.
No, 1-0 start.
Yeah, 1-0 start.
Correct.
Okay, but even after the point.
Correct.
Because you can get points your first time.
All right. How do you get, like in tennis, there's the let, which leads to the second serve. Is that kind of the same thing in pickleball?
Now you're going to get confusing because I don't know tennis. Now we're going to have to go to a tennis lesson.
No,
What's
no,
a
don't
let?
worry about it.
Don't worry about it?
Yeah.
Okay.
So we do have let serves, but if they bounce in and are fair, then you play with it. You
do.
go.
But that's not fair. I don't know what a let serve is.
It's when it
where it
hits the
hits the
net,
net, and
but
then it
then
still
still
goes in.
There you
goes
go.
in.
Okay, there you
But
go.
you only get one serve every time, every point. You don't get 2 serves.
You don't.
No. Now pros are now getting a second serve if they have a let serve in the pro circuit, but the amateur circuit
rec league
is not
isn't
doing
Hasn't
that
that.
trickled down yet.
Not yet. But we do have rule changes every year. And like line calls, everybody used to try to call everybody's lines on every side of the court. And now in 2025, they decided if it's on your side of the court, you call the lines. And if it's on their side of the court. So don't be deciding that your serve was in when it was out. They get to decide.
In tennis, if it hits the line, it's in.
And in pickleball, the same.
Same thing. Even if it hits a fraction of the line, it's an in.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well,
All
don't
right.
avoid the kitchen. You know,
Yeah.
the kitchen's a very special place
That's
in
and
pickleball.
that's what I was going to say. I know about the kitchen, but what's a big misconception about pickleball you wish more people understood? A misconception about the game. And since you brought up the kitchen, maybe that's a piece that you can't go somewhere.
You cannot go in the kitchen unless you have a bounce first.
I'm asking. I'm almost But what do you think is a misconception about the game that you see?
That the harder you hit, the better you are. When
There.
you need finesse, you need to slow it down.
Placement.
Placement over power is one of my favorite things. I've named my company Pop Culture Pickleball Club because I have like this hit that I call just pop it, pop the ball, just pop it. So it's not a big swing. It's just a tap basically. But placement over power is POP. So that's one of my favorite things to teach people. And when people keep hitting the ball back to their opponent, I'm like, try next time to not hit it right back to your opponent. Try to
Right.
hit it in between them or to the side of them. Placement over power. So as you get better and you raise your level in pickleball, you're not just hitting the ball back and forth. You're actually trying to place it and put them out of business on the point. You know what I mean?
Yes.
It's really fun. And that's the
Strategy.
level I play at. I play
Strategy,
now at the level where I'm actually putting the ball where I want to put it. And that did not happen overnight. Let me tell you
Now
that.
that's fun.
On the serve,
Yeah.
bounce it or hit it.
Both.
Either one's fine.
It's legal to hit the ball out of the air, and it's legal to bounce it. You can't throw it down. You have to just drop the ball, and the ball can actually bounce in the court, but you have a foot fault, so you have to stay off the baseline.
But there's also a little thing with the serve too. It was brought up to me, but it also has to be like it can't be.
It has to. You have to
It's a
hit the
border-
ball under your waist.
It's got under the
Under
waist,
your
low to
waist.
high. Low to high.
which can seem it can be
It's kinda
deceptive for some
tricky.
people.
Yeah, because a lot of people, if they try to start coming from the side, they get a lot more power, and you get called out.
Right.
Yeah. No.
So that's
You've
the
got to
thing,
hit
too.
it below the waist, below the belly button. You're supposed to strike the ball below the belly button. And I call my students out because they need to learn properly. They don't want to go out into the world and say, well, who taught you how to serve? Coach Wendy? Well, you serve illegally. Don't do that. Let's learn how to serve tonight, and let's try to get some good form. And also, you only score when you're serving, so you want to get a really dependable, consistent serve. So we're really big on getting the serve just right because that's
Yeah.
important.
See, and when I played tennis, that was the only thing I ever had was a serve. And I
Yeah.
love pickleball
Which
for
is
that
nice.
for that very reason. It's
Yeah.
like if you can get that, and that's what on things I do well in pickleball. I got a good serve. I got some. I
Yeah,
can do
me
with the
too.
velocity. I can get that thing cooking pretty low, right over the net, and pull up. But I also can spin that ball.
Yeah,
pretty well. And that's so. Explain what I mean by spinning that ball.
Well, a lot of paddles are constructed now to add a lot more spin. This is a proton paddle. This is the company I rep, and I can almost not hit the ball without a spin. I'm just wired to spin everything.
Backspin,
Nice.
where
Top
it would hit
spin.
the floor and just kind of stop.
Well, more like, sometimes every now and then you'll
Well, look
have
at her.
something
She's
bounce
like,
backwards.
wow,
but
she's got it doing like.
yeah. But I mean, the nuances of pickleball, the finesse of pickleball are really what take your level up. You can't just keep hitting the ball back and forth and win and beat people better than you. There's a lot to learn. Yeah.
What's the line between like we're here to have fun and I'm here to kick everybody's ass?
So that again is kind of determined where you go and play all the time.
Okay.
But how I usually play now is I take people with me I want to play with. I'll teach anybody and everybody, and a lot of them come along now and play with me. I've actually taught a couple of people who now beat me, and I don't like that very much, but it's happening. And I've got a handful of ladies tonight. There's 7 of us, and myself 8, and it's called the Pop Stars League, because I name everything Pop something. Pop Daddies, Pop
Stars.
Pop Stars. So those 7 women like to win, and so do I. So tonight will be interesting.
All right.
It's always interesting.
The shoe matter. Where's the
Shoes
shoe
matter,
on
yes,
the
sir.
thing?
So shoes, footwear is very important. Please never ever wear Hokas on a pickleball court. They have a high heel. They have a large sole, and I've now had 2 very serious injuries.
Roll in the ankles.
Correct. They
Makes
are the
perfect sense.
worst shoes. So what I recommend is a good court shoe. They're now making Skechers and making beautiful pickleball shoes. I use what do I use? K-Swiss.
Yeah.
And then I also have New Balance, which I love.
Yeah.
But they're low soled and they hold my feet really well.
Stability shoe.
But here's the ticket. you want to put inserts in your shoes because plantar fasciitis is waiting for you in pickleball because of the lateral movements, the starts, the stops, and all that. So you want to have some help. You want some protection in your shoe.
There's not a thing she hasn't thought of. I mean,
No, there isn't.
She's
There
going
isn't.
down from the shoes to the soles to the racket to the.
I want to
ball.
play pickleball with
Yeah,
Coach
yeah.
Wendy.
Well, you
Another thing
can.
I strongly recommend is eyewear during the
Really?
day. Yes, absolutely. I wear goggles at night. They're glass goggles. I mean, they're not goggles.
clear,
Correct.
like racquetball glasses.
Because I have seen students get hit in the eye.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, my boys, when we play, man, of course they're 16 and 18.
Oh, they're
Their
going at
favorite
it,
thing
yeah.
to do is wham, slam the
We
ball.
got to play sometime. Let's
it
do
would
it.
be amazing.
Yeah, I would love to come out and teach you.
Okay.
I teach leagues. I created a really cool thing called the Pickleball Flow, and it's a clinic where you come out and you'll serve 10, 15 times, then you'll return the serve 10, 15 times, and stay in all 4 positions, 10, 15 serves, and you build muscle memory around what you're supposed to do at every position on the court. Because serve, stay, return, run. I mean, there's a lot of, it's kind of hard to explain in just a
That's
conversation.
not 101. You're not at 101. Now you're talking
No.
higher level here.
That's a master's
But I
degree.
teach beginners all the time, and I take them out, and I want them to learn how to use the paddle, the strength of the paddle, their strength, their abilities. Can they run? Should they run? And kind of learn for an intensive hour with a private lesson to get them started.
All right, Max, so let's make sure the camera's right on Coach Wendy. You mind picking up this paddle? What's
Yes,
the
sir.
proper way to hold on to this thing?
Well, it's generally, just the conventional grip, like on a golf club.
Yep.
So you kind of shake hands with the top of the paddle and you come down and grip it. But I play like this a lot of times. So I have created another kind of hit, like an underhanded roll. So it just really depends, how you want to play. But traditionally you would hold the
But
paddle
if
like
you're
this.
saying like a golf grip, you're not really. It's actually kind of loose. You're not gripping it too tight.
There's different hits where you want to have a
Okay.
lighter grip and then
Okay.
a stronger grip.
I gotcha.
So when
Because
you're
the stronger the grip, the harder it's going to come
It's
off
going
the
to bounce it
paddle.
off it hard.
But when you're dinking, which is a high performance part of the game, when you start getting into dinking, you're generally at a higher level.
Right.
And you are kind of want to make sure you bend your knees really well and hold the paddle lighter because you're just kind of sending the ball over the net.
It's a little more the
When is
ping,
the
ping
first
pong game.
Move the Needle Invitational?
Let's set it up. We'll talk to Coach Wendy. I'm sure she should get some players going, right?
Well, I help a lot of nonprofits do tournaments.
Yeah.
And I just was asked today to donate to the multiple sclerosis tournament, which is going to be out in the West Valley, I believe, on March 14th. So what I will do is go out there and just kind of rah. And if they want me to show people how to play on a court that they've decided. But I've donated $600 worth of lessons. And then my Proton paddle partners are going to come in with 2 paddles and a paddle a bag. So we're very, very generous back to our community. Like Habitat for Humanity gets a package every year from me, the ICU, Gala. So we always want to kind of reinvest into the community because it's such a gift if you happen to come upon a pickleball raffle prize and you then pick up the sport. I mean, it's such a beautiful sport, and there's a lot of naysayers out there and like, you're killing tennis.
They're getting quieter.
They are.
Yes.
I give you that.
They're getting quieter.
But, like they're trying to stop one of the best pickleball venues in Solana Beach, California because of the noise. So the pickleball hit does annoy neighbors. So there's a little bit of it. I mean, it turns me on, but I don't
Okay. There you go.
I don't know if I'd want to hear it in my living room when I'm trying to watch,
For sure.
48 hours.
NCAIS or whatever that is.
I got a fun scenario I want to run
All
by.
right, here we go.
$1 million game. You got to bet.
Why is it $1 million?
$1 million between me and Wendy.
Okay.
You got to bet on one of us. Wendy's, of course, I'm intermediate, maybe beginner, intermediate. Wendy's got to play me, but she can't play with her paddle. She's got to pick. You've got to pick household utensil.
Oh,
What are you going to play me with, and who are you going to bet on?
I'm gonna have to go with a cutting board.
Okay. Ooh, she might take me out with a. Are you gonna? You're gonna
That's
still.
hilarious.
You probably
You
still.
can find a cutting board that has a handle
I have
on
one.
it.
Would
Yeah, I have
would
one.
you still bet on? You'd probably still bet on her.
Of course I would.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I would
what I
even
wanna-
beat you left-handed.
Whoa! With a cutting board.
Well, I'm ambidextrous.
Yeah,
Okay.
I am too.
Yeah,
so
isn't
that
that
plays
cool?
into
And so
plays
am I.
into
am
it
3.
nicely.
Another
Really?
thing to do. I play pickleball. One of my best moves is a lot of times I can move. I could switch the hand. I hit my left hand.
Is that legal?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I can't serve left-handed, but I can play left-handed.
Yeah.
It's the craziest thing.
I am a lefty, so I feel
Nice.
like the
Oh.
southpaws always have a tiny bit of an advantage.
Always. A lefty. I had a friend that had a son, and he was a lefty, and I go, is he lefty? Is he lefty? Is he a lefty? And he's like, no. I'm like, because you do have the advantage.
Since
as
we're
a
talking
lefty.
about this, it's really weird. Though I'm a righty, I'm a left-footed, which is one of the
Me too.
rarest
Me too.
thing. You're left-footed, which makes
I'm a lefty who's right-footed.
Yeah, which that ambidextrous.
My left leg is my power side, like for
Me too,
skiing and
yeah.
for skateboarding.
I wonder how
and
many
stuff.
other people are watching this going, me too, me too,
Yeah,
me too.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I just can't write with my left hand.
Yeah.
No, I'm not left. I have nothing. I mean, I could.
anyways,
All right. How do I find you? What's the best way to find you?
You guys, I haven't developed a website, because I'm not interested in doing that just yet, because this is just my part-time job. I have a full-time job.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Okay.
I do moving and storage, business development for Get Your Move On Moving and Storage.
give them
I've
a
been
little
there for
shout
10
out.
years.
Nice.
Best moving and storage company in the country. I'm so proud of them. I've been there 10 years, and I'm their main gal. So I go out and influence realtors to refer us, and it's a very, very solid professional company. But nighttime I teach, and I have 5 leagues, active leagues. I teach probably 30 lessons a month, all at night or on the weekends. And the cool thing is you just text me or call me, and I'll give you my phone number.
We'll
But
put it in the show notes.
the reason I do that right now is because I want to make sure that Susie and Jenny belong in the same lesson together. If somebody were to go on a website and start typing in and going into a lesson together, should those two people be in a lesson
Right.
together? One might be better than the other. Because
Right.
I've had a lot of feedback where they're like, you put me in a lesson with people that aren't nearly as good as I am, and I don't want to do that anymore. So right now I just do it manually.
Control it.
I do.
Control it.
But
Coach Wendy
it's
is
manageable.
She is.
Yeah.
She has educated us today. She's inspired us. I want to
Love
go
this.
play pickleball
Yeah.
tonight. I feel like I'm ready. Game on.
One of the hottest topics in America
Yes.
is pickleball. I love that we had you on.
Yeah.
Wendy. It was amazing to learn all the nuances.
It's the
for if you didn't
funnest.
know.
It's so fun.
Yeah.
so-
Thank you so much,
Yeah,
Coach
thank
Wendy.
you.
Thanks.
Appreciate you.
Amazing.
Well, listen, man, what a good education. We learned about the Diablos. We learned about pickleball. I feel like we've grown immensely today.
And then we're gonna have some cauliflower pizza
yes.
at Vero, which is
we
even-
are. Have you had it yet, Wendy?
No, but my friend's coming over here, so we're going to hang around.
The
Oh,
cauliflower
nice.
crust is literally the best
Yeah.
in the city.
Nice.
Yeah, I think so.
I'm excited.
All right, really quick, I want to say thanks to the tutor doctor. I want to say thanks to Keystone Montessori, and maybe one of these realtors you need to meet about your other
Amy
project is
Richardson.
Amy
There she
Richardson
is,
from
yeah.
Savvy Realty Group. They're all generous with their time,
And then a
money, and
shout out
efforts.
to
and
Alex at Vero here. Of
course,
he's coming
man.
on board and one of our venue partners.
Such a good guy.
Yes.
All right, we will see everybody in just another week or so for another episode of Move the Needle. Thank you so much for jumping on in with us, Steve. I'll see you next week.
Thank you. See you next week.